Call to order, City of Forest Park, Council meeting number 1379, Monday, July 19th, 2021. Let's stand for the pledge, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk, call the roll, please.
Here.
Here. Here. Here.
Here.
Here.
Let the record show that all council members are present. Next item on the agenda is minutes. You should have received a copy of the minutes. Are there any corrections or additions to the minutes? Hearing none, the minutes will stand approved as presented. Item 3, presentations, Business of the Month Award, La Rosa's at 11118 Hamilton Avenue. Mr. Paul Burr.
Thank you, Mayor, members of council. For several years, as all of you know, we've been trying to improve our western gateway into the community. We had identified Civic Center Plaza as a target for redevelopment in that area. And working with the shopping center, we were able to complete a series of improvements several years ago that brought investments by several retailers, including Ollie's, O'Reilly Auto Parts, Little Arrows Child Care, McDonald's, and Hypershine. One of the more impressive projects, though, has just recently been completed. Last year, La Rosa's announced plans to acquire and renovate a vacant building at the entrance to the center. The company invested more than $1.5 million on the project, bringing 25 full-time and 20 part-time employees to the city. Equally important, they converted what had been a blighted, vacant building into a true community asset. This location is owned and operated by the Miners family, the very same people who completed a similar project on Northland Boulevard several years ago. Indeed, we are fortunate to have a long and mutually beneficial relationship with the family. As many of you know, Eddie Miners actually serves on the Economic Development Commission, and we look forward to working with Eddie and his family for many years to come. I want to congratulate the La Rosas on this much-deserved recognition and welcome them again to Forest Park. I think all of us remember this building. For those of us who have been around a while, we might recall that it used to be an Arby's many years ago, but more recently was some uses that we weren't necessarily thrilled to have in the community. I'll just say that. So we're really thrilled that Eddie took the time to make this investment. And I think if you've been over there, everybody that I've talked to has been very happy with the project so far. And we're very fortunate. As all of you know, family-owned businesses is what we really make our bread and butter off of here in Forest Park. We're very fortunate to be working with Eddie and his family. So he unfortunately was not able to be here tonight because I think he's working. So I will make sure that he gets the award.
Thank you. The next item is item number 4, communication from the public. This is a time for citizens to comment on matters before council or ask questions of concern to them. When recognized, please come forward to the podium, give your name and address, and then state your comments or questions. Council meetings are tape recorded for ease of transcriptions. Comments are limited to 5 minutes. So is there anyone from the public who would like to address council? I think we need to go backwards a little bit to, is there a motion to amend the agenda, Councilwoman Herbie?
To amend the agenda and add as item J and take up at this time a motion to appoint Ms. Nancy Goins to the Stormwater Utility Board for the term expiring 11/30/24.
It's been moved and seconded that we amend the agenda and add as item J and take up at this time a motion to appoint Nancy Goins to the Stormwater Utility Board for a term expiring 11/30/24. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, the clerk please call the roll on amending the agenda.
Brown. Yes.
Clark. Yes.
Irving. Yes.
Hope. Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Moore. Yes.
Yes.
The motion passes. You want to go? We will then swear in Ms. Goins, if you would please come to the podium and do that.
Nancy Goins, do solemnly swear or affirm do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the municipality of Forest Park,
and the municipality of Forest Park,
Ohio,
Ohio,
and that I will faithfully, honestly, and impartially discharge the duties as
a stormwater board representative. Is that right?
yes. Thank you.
Perfect, thank you.
Would you like to?
Make a motion to add her name.
Thank you for, council and mayor for this appointment. I look forward to, helping with the Stormwater Board and representing our businesses and residents as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Then we would move then to item, I'm sorry, yes.
I would move also to amend the agenda and add also item K, to act on appointing Rhonda Hobbs to serve a 3-year term on the CPB board. It's not on there. I want to add it.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and second that we add an item K that would add the name of Rhonda Hobbs to the CPB board. Is there any discussion?
Mr. Mayor,
Yeah.
the motion amends the agenda to put the motion on the agenda, and then you have to actually do the motion.
So the motion is to amend the agenda?
Yes.
Okay, so, you're,
Sally, it indicates that she is not here, so we don't have to make it the order of the day.
Right, correct.
okay, so,
But we'll have to make it when K comes around.
Yes.
okay. So this is to add an item K to the agenda.
Yes.
Any discussion, would the clerk call the roll to add?
Clark? Herbie?
Yes?
Holt?
Yes.
Johnson?
Yes,
Moore?
Yes.
Sylvester? Brown?
Yes.
we will add an item K to the agenda. The next order of business then would be reports of standing committees. Item number 5 on the agenda. The first of these would be Community Development Committee, Councilwoman Moore.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I do not have a report at this time.
Okay, any questions for Councilwoman Moore? Councilwoman Moore, I have one item for you for the work session on the 26th, comprehensive fee schedule for the building department.
Thank you.
The next committee report is item B, Human Resources Committee, Vice Mayor Holt.
I do not have a report tonight, thank you.
Questions for for Vice Mayor Holt? Hearing none, I don't have any agenda to set on the agenda for you for next week. Third report is the Law Committee, Mr. Brown.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I do not have any committee reports at this time, nor do I have any items to add to the agenda.
Any questions for Mr. Brown? Hearing none, we will go to item D, Public Improvement and Facilities, Mr. Sylvester. Mr. Sylvester, I have 2 items on the agenda for you for the work session. The first one being street repairs for 2021, and the second one being stormwater certification. Next committee report will be Public Safety Committee, Councilwoman Clark.
Just want to make a big congratulations and welcome to our 3 new officers, Police Officer Ayers, Scherer, and Thompson.
Any questions for Councilwoman Clark? Hearing none, I have no items on the agenda for you for the 26th. Next committee report is Ways and Means, Councilwoman Herbie.
Yes, I do want to mention that Mr. Bram and I attended the Tax Incentive Review Committee, which is the annual review of our enterprise zones and our TIFs. And happy to say that in most cases, our businesses that have enterprise zone agreements are meeting their obligations. Some are falling very, very slightly short on hiring goals, but that's to be expected coming out of this pandemic. But all have been approved by the TIRC, and all of our TIFs have been improved. I will mention that we always have to request that they approve the TIF for the mall because it is working as intended, because that particular property had assessments added to it that the owner would have to pay if it did not operate as expected. And that owner is making those assessments, paying those assessments, so it is operating as intended in that respect. We never anticipated that we would have a business that would hold on to it, pay its assessments and taxes, but not develop it. So we keep looking for someone to come in and develop. Hope that the gentleman will eventually want to sell it to a developer. Thank you.
Any questions for Councilwoman Herbie? Hearing none, there are no items on the agenda for you for next week. Do you have any to add?
No, sir.
Next committee report is Intergovernmental Relations and Communication. That is mine. I have no report. There are no items on the agenda for me for next week. I'll answer any questions if there are any. Seeing none, we'll move then to item number 6, the mayor's report. Just report briefly that I did the swearing-in ceremony for 3 officers 2 weeks ago, and today I swore in a 4th new officer, so we have 4 new officers. They're in varying stages of their training, so their starting dates will be a little bit different, but we do have 4 new officers. Fortunately, because it seems like we're always playing catch-up, and that we have a possibility of, within the next 12 to 14 months, we will have 5 that will retire. And so, as I said, it's almost like always playing catch-up, but we'll keep doing it until we get there. That would end my report. I'll answer any questions if there are any. Seeing none, we'll go to the city manager's report. Mr. Jones.
I'll try and keep it pretty brief tonight. I want to remind everyone about the August 7th 5K bike, walk, cycle, run event. It'll be held at the Central Park from 10 to 1 on August the 7th. There'll be food trucks there, and there'll also be events for kids, and band YOLO will be playing from 11 to 1. The bike event is being organized by our council member, Aaron Brown, and thank him for doing all that, doing all the heavy lifting. We've got several other sponsors involved as well. We bring more information to you. So the We Thrive event as well, and some other folks that if you want to list them, you can tell them some of the other
Yes, so
folks that you've got on board just recently.
the 513 relief bus from Hamilton County should make an appearance, and they'll do COVID testing, and they also will do vaccinations for those who still need to get vaccinated. Also, the Center for Closing the Health Gap has said that they will participate, and they want to raffle off 4 bikes for residents, so you can participate in the raffle. And they're also going to set up a smoothie shop and hand out promotional materials to promote just health in the community. And then we also have another potential sponsor from Cincinnati Red Bike who will be donating bikes for people who want to attend but don't have a bike and don't want to walk and want to ride a bike. So we just encourage everyone to come out. It's going to be a good time.
A great event, even if you're, like you said, even if you don't want to ride a bike, that you can still walk or
Absolutely.
get around and do whatever you need to do. So August 7th, mark your calendar, 10 o'clock. The mayor mentioned we do have 4 new officers now. 3 of them have started. The other one is, again, started, has been sworn in, but she won't start till, I think sometime in December. We have to send her to the academy. So we're glad to have 4 new officers coming on board, but you're right, it's hard to keep up with the retirements and everything. So hopefully we'll be able to continue and hire great people. We went through a long process here and hired a lot of very good, what we believe will be very good employees for the city. We welcome them in their careers as they begin and move forward. I want to give an update last week. If you remember the council meeting from last week, We had a lot of senior center members last week that were talking about some of the things they'd like to see brought back to the senior center. We did meet with them. Actually, we met with the Senior Center Advisory Board late last week. We also met or contacted and through a phone call. We had our senior staff, and the mayor was there as well. Oh, yes. I'm sorry. Oh, yes. Yeah, you're right. Thank you. We met with the community. Our medical director is a physician, and talked about the COVID protocols that we had in place and some of the things that we could do to open up the senior center a little bit faster. And we planned on going at this pace all along, and we were able to get some assurances and some information from our medical director. And so therefore, we have decided to bring back, effective this week, the senior center cards and games. We're going to add that back. We're also adding in a no mask mandate. And also finally, at the members' request, we're also making all of the programs that are taking place there at the center are for members only. So, and there's some other details that go along with that. But the good news is that the senior center, we've added more programs with our goal basically to get back to pre-COVID levels with the programs and the programming that we've had, and even add programs that we can move forward with. So we've added a couple programs with the senior steppers. We're bringing back the line dancing as soon as we can get an instructor. So we're pretty much on moving forward to bring back as many of the programs we had before COVID and then add to those. So thanks for those seniors who took, number one, who take time to volunteer to be on the advisory board. That's a very tough and thankless job, quite frankly, and it's always tough for volunteers to get in and put themselves into decision-making positions and to advise the city and advise us as to what their group, the needs and wants of their group. And we also want to thank all we had I don't know how many people, probably close to 50, 40 to 50 members there in attendance at the meeting as well. So I want to thank everyone for their interest, and we plan on moving forward as quick as we can. Finally, we do have a new employee who is our community education.
Kim Schiff.
Yes, Kim Schiff, and she is a community health educator, and it's a commitment that we wanted to make, and we've seen the problems and the issues that we had through COVID, and we think that we need to help ourselves, and never was it so evident that you have to rely on yourself and take responsibility for yourself and our city and our citizens and the health of them. So we've added a community health person to handle that for us, who's going to coordinate all of that. She comes from, I believe, Hamilton County Public Health, and she'll do a great job. And she's starting, I believe, the first week of August. So you'll be looking forward to some programs and some outreach that we'll have that'll be directly from the city of Forest Park, with Forest Park employee managing that, and for the Forest Park residents. So look forward for that. And we'll get more information on that as we start to roll that out. But I think it's really going to be a great improvement to how our citizens are handled and taken care of from a health standpoint in Hamilton County. So we look forward to bringing her on. And she's accepted the position, and she'll be starting first week of August. And I think that is about it. If you have any more questions, I'll be glad to answer them.
Question for city manager? Hearing none. Thank you, sir. We'll move to item number 8. Other reports, first of those being Law Director, Mr. Wyckoff.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I did, since the last meeting, have an opportunity to consult with the city manager on a property damage claim that was being made against the city. I've been involved in a review of the documents for the purchase of 650 Northland Boulevard, And I also filed 2 petitions for forfeiture of single-family homes to the city of Forest Park. We're simply waiting on receipt of an entry from the court on those 2 items. But that would be the end of my report unless there are any questions.
Questions for Law Director? Thank you, sir. Next report is Clerk of Council, Ms. Boyd.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to report that ordinance number 15-2021 and 16-2021 and ordinances numbers 09-2021 and 10-2021 were posted as required, and that concludes my report.
Any questions for Clerk of Council? Hearing none, thank you, Ms. Boyd. We'll now move to item number 9, new business. Is there a motion?
Yes, I would move to suspend the rules requiring the reading in full on 2 separate occasions and read by title only ordinance number 11-2021.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we suspend the rules requiring the reading in full on 2 separate occasions and read for the first time by title only ordinance number 11-2021. Is there any discussion?
Just that it was posted as required.
No further questions, then would the clerk please call the roll on ordinance 11-2021, on the motion to suspend from reading in full, 11-2021.
Herbie,
Yes?
Holt,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes?
Moore,
Yes.
Sylvester, Brown,
Yes.
Clark.
Ordinance, the motion to suspend passes 7-0. Next item on the agenda is item A, ordinance 11-2021. Would the clerk please read that ordinance by title only?
Ordinance 11-2021, delegating authority to make declarations of official intent and allocations with respect to reimbursements of temporary advances during fiscal year 2021 made for capital improvements and acquisitions for municipal purposes to be made from subsequent borrowings.
Is there a motion, Councilman Herbie?
Yes, I would move adoption of ordinance number 11-2021.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we adopt ordinance 11-2021. Is there any discussion?
Just that this is routine, when we advance monies from the general fund for capital improvements that eventually are going to be bonded out, when that bonding comes in, this is designed to be able for us to repay the general fund. So I would urge adoption of this ordinance.
Any further discussion? Hearing now, would the clerk please call the roll on ordinance 11-2021?
Holt,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes?
Moore,
Yes.
Sylvester, Brown,
Yes.
Clark, Herbie.
Yes.
Ordinance 11-2021 passes 7-0. Next item on the agenda is item B, ordinance number 12-2021. This must be read in full.
Ordinance number 12-2021, an ordinance determining to reduce and recertify special assessments levied for the purpose of constructing certain improvements and declaring an emergency. Whereas pursuant to the petition filed by the owners of benefited properties dated December 30th, 2003, the petition, this city council of the city of Forest Park, Hamilton County, Ohio, here in the city, by resolution number 02-2004, adopted January 20th, 2004, has declared the necessity of acquiring and constructing the improvements described in such resolution and has adopted the assessments with respect to such improvements prepared and filed with the clerk of council, and by ordinance number 02-2004, adopted on January the 20th, 2004, determined to proceed with said improvements. And whereas in accordance with the petition, the improvements identified in such resolution and ordinance hereinafter called the improvements were acquired and constructed on behalf of the city and the city of Fairfield, Butler County, Ohio, herein Fairfield, acting jointly and in cooperation with the Port of Greater Cincinnati Development Authority, the Port Authority. And whereas this council by ordinance number 03-2004, adopted January 20th, 2004, levied special assessments for the improvements against benefited properties in the city and certify said assessments to the Hamilton County Auditor for collection. And whereas pursuant to the petition, the assessments to be certified for collection in each year are to be adjusted in accordance with the tax increment service and cooperative agreement, the cooperative agreement, entered into by and among the city, Fairfield, the property owner, and the Port Authority dated February the 1st, 2004. The trust indiger by and between the Port Authority and the U.S. Bank National Association dated February the 1st, 2004, and an annual report to be prepared and provided to the city and others by the administrator as defined therein. And whereas the cooperative agreement and trust indenture require the administrator to determine and include in its annual report, A, the Forest Park gross annual assessments and Fairfield gross annual assessments for the following collection year. B, the aggregate annual required assessments for the applicable year as reduced by I, the amount of the service payments in lieu of taxes collected and estimated to be collected pursuant to Section 5709.42 of the Ohio Revised Code and the Cooperative Agreement, and 2, other available amounts as set forth in the trust indenture, and C, the net amounts of the special assessments to be certified for collection that year by the city. The Forest Park net annual assessments referred to therein, and by Fairfield, the Fairfield City net annual assessments referred to therein. Whereas the city has received the 2021 report of the administrator detailing the calculations of the amounts identified in the preceding recital to this ordinance, including estimates of the amount of service payments in lieu of taxes and other funds to be available during 2021 and 2022 for the purpose of making debt service and related payments, and indicating the reduction percentages and amounts to be applied in order to reduce the Forest Park gross annual assessments to the Forest Park net annual assessments to be collected for the 2022 collection year, with the related Fairfield determinations made on the same basis. And whereas this council determines that the assessments previously levied for collection year 2022 shall be reduced pursuant to and in accordance with the administrator's report. Now therefore, the council of the city of Forest Park, county of Hamilton, Ohio, hereby ordains, Section 1, that the assessments of the cost and expense of the improvements plus administrative expenses, which were previously certified by this council to the Hamilton County Auditor's Office for collection year 2022, for parcel numbers and in the amounts as set forth in Exhibit A, attached hereto, shall pursuant to and in accordance with the administrator's report, be reduced for collection year 2022, and shall be recertified to the county auditor and collected for collection year 2022 in the amount set forth on Exhibit B attached hereto. Section 2, that the clerk of council is hereby directed to deliver a certified copy of this ordinance to the county auditor within 20 days after its adoption. Section 3, that it is found and determined that all formal actions of this council concerning and relating to the adoption of this ordinance were adopted in an open meeting of this council, and that all deliberations of this council and of any of its committees that resulted in such formal action were in meetings open to the public in compliance with all legal requirements, including Section 121.22 of the Ohio Revised Code. Section 4, that this ordinance is hereby declared to be an emergency measure necessary for the immediate preservation of the public peace, health, safety, and welfare of this city, and for the further reason that the immediate adoption of this ordinance is necessary for the orderly certification of the assessments. Therefore, this ordinance shall be in full force and effect from and immediately after its adoption.
Is there a motion, Councilman Herbie?
Yes, I would move adoption of ordinance number 12-2021.
Second.
It's been moved and second that we adopt ordinance 12-2021. Is there a discussion?
All of that legalese just means that every year annually, we review the assessments, reduce them by payments in lieu of taxes, and certify to the county auditor the new balance. So that's all this is. It's an annual thing. I urge adoption of this
Any
motion.
further discussion?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I have just a point of clarification with regards to this particular ordinance and my ability to vote on it, given the nature of my employment with one of the interested parties. I don't know if it would be a conflict, given that this is procedural and it doesn't necessarily advance.
You don't make any money on it.
Yeah. I'm just making sure.
I'm sorry, I don't know what employment position.
Oh, well, considering I work for the Port Authority, and this deals with business that is also pertaining to the Port Authority, should
Yeah, I don't think that'd be a conflict because there's no adverse position
I was making,
possible here.
okay, I'm just making sure. I don't want to be locked up, no.
I'm sorry, I didn't know where you worked.
No.
I thought this was your full-time job.
Okay, any further discussion? Hearing none, will the clerk please call the roll on ordinance 12-2021?
Johnson,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Sylvester, Brown,
Yes.
Clark, Herbie,
Yes.
Holt.
Yes.
Ordinance 2021 passes, 12-2021 passes 7-0. Next item on the agenda is item C. A motion would be in order regarding liquor license. Mr. Brown.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I would like to make a motion to direct the clerk of council to notify the Ohio Department of Liquor Control that the city of Forest Park does not request a hearing regarding a liquor license transfer request to El Asadero Mexican Grill LLC at 1081 Smiley Avenue in Side Patio in Forest Park from Shooters Winton LLC, doing business as Shooters at the same address for a D51 and D6 permit.
Need a second?
Second.
It's been moved and second that we notify the Department of Liquor that we do not request a hearing on this transfer. Is there any discussion, Mr. Brown?
Yes, as everyone's aware, Shooters, located at 1081 Smiley Avenue, closed a few months ago, and El Asadero Mexican Grill LLC is planning to open a restaurant in that same building. So the applicant, Luis Felipe Ortiz of El Asadero Mexican Grill, has applied for a liquor license transfer from Shooters. And the police department completed a background check of the applicant, which is routine. They found no police records, so there is no reason for the city to lodge an objection to this liquor license request. The current license is a D5 license, which is for spirituous liquor for on-premises consumption only, beer, wine, and mixed beverages for on-premises or off-premises in their original sealed containers until 2:30 a.m., and a D6 license, which is the sale of intoxicating liquor on Sunday between the hours of 10 a.m. or 11 a.m. and midnight. And I would urge adoption of this.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion, let it be known by the sign of voting aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Next item is item D, a motion, Councilwoman Holt.
Yes, I would like to make a motion to appoint Ms. Takia Bailey from Forest Park to the Community Programming Board, Regional Council of Governments, and the CPB Holdings, Inc. Board for the term expiring 3/31/2024.
Second.
Moved and second that we approve the appointment of Ms. Bailey to the Community Programming Board, Regional Council of Governments, and CPB Holdings. Is there any discussion?
None.
Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion, let it be known by the sign of voting aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes unanimous. Next item on the agenda is item E, Councilwoman Holt.
I would like to make a motion to appoint Ms. Diana Herbie to the Economic Development Commission for the term expiring 11/30/2021, and to the Charter Revision Committee for the term expiring 11/30/2024.
Is there a second? It's been moved and seconded that Sir be appointed to the Economic Development Commission and to the Charter Review Commission. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, let it be known by the sign of voting aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. You gonna do that? Are you?
We can do it now.
Okay. Mr. Brown, while they're walking down there, do you have any idea when that new restaurant will open? Where should? Okay, thank you.
I know they're currently working on the interior renovation, so.
Thank you, sir. I need to get back in.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Diana Herbie,
Do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the municipality and the Constitution of the State of Ohio, the Charter
and the Constitution of the State
State
of
of
Ohio
Ohio.
and the Charter
of the Municipality of Forest Park,
of the Municipality of Forest Park,
Ohio,
Ohio,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
honestly,
honestly,
and impartially
and impartially
discharge the duties as,
discharge the duties as Economic Development Commissioner and Charter Commissioner.
thank you.
Thank you.
I have to get used to reading this.
What else was I gonna? I hope they still gonna do the trivia. Oh, you got
Got a
another
motion
motion?
base, though.
You can make, just read off of his.
No, not for him.
Okay, item F, motion, Councilwoman Holt.
I make a motion to appoint Charles Johnson to the Charter Revision Committee for the term expiring 11/30/25.
Second.
Been moved and second that we approve the motion. Is there any discussion?
None.
All those in favor of the motion, let it be known by the sign of voting aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 7-0.
Okay, raise your right hand. I, and state your name,
I, Charles Johnson,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
the Charter of the Municipality of Forest Park,
the Charter of the Municipality of Forest Park, Ohio,
and that I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
honestly,
honestly,
and impartially
and
discharge
impartially discharge
the
the
duties
duties
as,
as member of the Charter Revision Committee.
congratulations.
Next item on the agenda would be item G. Councilwoman Dr. Moore.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I make a motion to recess from August the 3rd, 2021 through September 12th, 2021.
Second.
Been moved and second that the council will recess August 3rd, 2021 through August 12th, 2020, through September 12th, 2021. Is there any discussion?
No.
Hearing
I have
none.
none.
Any questions? All those in favor of the motion, let it be known by the sign of voting aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Next item on the agenda is item H. Councilwoman Irby.
I move to receive the general fund summary report as contained in the departmental reports.
Is there a second? It's been moved and second to receive the general fund summary report as contained in the departmental reports. Any discussion? All those in favor of the motion, let it be known by the sign of voting aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Next item is item K. Councilwoman Holt. Here.
Ms. Rhonda Hobbs' term has expired, and she desires to remain on the board of the Community Program Board, Regional Council of Government, and CBP Holdings for a term expiring 3/31/24.
Is there a second to the motion?
Second?
Been moved and second that Ms. Hobbs be approved to remain on the boards for a term that would expire in 3/31/24. Is there any discussion?
None.
Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion, let it be known by the sign of voting aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Now, is there any further business to come before the body? Any further business to come before the body? Depending on whether or not we have any additional items added to the agenda, as usual, the clerk of council will notify us regarding next week's work session, whether that work session will be held next week or if that work session will be held the Monday of August 2nd prior to the council meeting. Again, is there any other items to come before the council? Hearing none, we are adjourned.